Did what I'm about to tell really happen? Is the story of this port city so different from other places? Ephesus, lost, forgotten. After ancient civilizations, it became the home of the Turks. Just when I thought it had fallen into desolation and silence, I bring it to light. Who knows how many travelers fell in love with this city, whose laughter and whose painful laments echoed through its streets. It's no longer anything more than a fairy tale, but I'm opening the door to one of the most intriguing cities of ancient lands, Ephesus. I was once a soldier of Rome. Now I have returned to tell the silent stories embedded in the stones of Ephesus. Around me rise the columns of the Artemision, and before my eyes the 9 quiet marble steps come to life again. This is the remnant of a civilization that has stood since 6000 BC, a gateway between East and West, once one of the busiest port cities of the Mediterranean. I was around 30, maybe 35, when I first stepped into this city. I remember how Ephesus had grown to nearly 200,000 souls. Everything seemed carved from marble, a dream turned to stone. The name of Ephesus first appeared in Hittite records as Ephesus. The artifacts found in the mounds on the slopes show that the earliest settlers lived here since the Neolithic Age. The Great Transformation began in the Iron Age, around the 11th century BC. Back then, several tribes sailed across the seas to these shores. Life had become difficult in their old capital, Arzawa. The voice of the Mediterranean called them here. These Hellenic migrants, Ionian and Aeolian, fought for the lands that would become cities like Ephesus. Guided by the prophecy of the oracle at Delphi, a young prince named Androclos came here to found a new city. Since that day, the whispers of the oracles of Ephesus have never left my ears. The oldest city walls still stand upon Isuluk Hill. Ephesus's story truly began around 1050 BC. The first settlements at Bairakli Mound were Hellenic in origin, and during the Iron Age, both Aeolians and Ionians lived here. In short, the people of Ephesus were migrants from many lands, from various parts of Greece. As I gazed around from Isuluk Hill, I saw the courage of those first Ephesians. They walked within a dream woven by centuries of mingling cultures. This is the Artemision, once one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The night Herostratus burned the temple to achieve immortality. The prophecy of Apollo wrote the fate of Ephesus. The city would rise here. I could almost hear the whispers of an old woman. Daughter of light, Androclos, the fish and the boar shall guide you. With those who joined you, you reached the Anatolian shores safely. Weary from your long journey, you lit a fire to cook the fish you caught with your sailors. But as a coal fell from a fish into the grass, the dry weeds caught fire. From the burning brush, a wild boar burst forth and ran. Remembering the oracle's words, you chased it and slew it. And there, you built your city. Among the unearthed columns, I recall how, in the Hellenistic period, Lysimachus rebuilt this magnificent city. In time, Rome set its eyes upon this place. In 129 BC, Ephesus came under the rule of the Roman Republic. During the reign of Augustus, it became the capital of the province of Asia, and the city reached its golden age. For centuries, Ephesus, with nearly 100,000 inhabitants, was one of the largest cities in Anatolia. At the harbor, bamboo-sailed ships and dark merchant vessels arrived. Ships from Asia, laden with silk, bringing dreams from all corners of the Mediterranean. Caravans carrying lamps in their hands came to the temple of Artemis, offering gifts and prayers. In those days, I witnessed a complex city, Ionians, Romans, Pergamenes, Lemnians, and countless migrants from across the world. Many languages intertwined here. Each street echoed with a different story. A mother searching for her husband from a distant village. A philosopher gathering his students to spread thought to Alexandria. A merchant counting his coins. The city's library and theater, bathed in light, were filled with the tales of artists, scholars, and traders who had migrated here. No grandeur lasts forever. In the middle of the 3rd century AD, the sky darkened with storm clouds. The Goths swept down upon the Mediterranean coast. In 263 AD, Ephesus was suddenly attacked. I saw soldiers fighting on the road to the cathedral, sword in one hand, a sack of sand in the other. The city's glorious sarcophagi, its red-fired tiles, shattered in the chaos of destruction. Our fate was once again carved into stone. As the cries of ruin tore through the sky, the city's harbor, rebuilt after the devastation, slowly filled with the silt brought by the Küçük-Menderes River. Trade declined, and people said farewell to the coast. But the greatest loss was the sea itself. Ephesus was no longer a port. The ships had drifted far from land. To me, this meant that many of its people began migrating inland, toward the villages, toward the safety of Ayassuluk Hill. They too were migrants, seeking new homes in the face of new threats that history had cast upon them.